What's up, guys? It's Zach the Celtics guy here. I'm back with another video, and here with another legal lessons video. A legal lessons slash Zach's idea type video. Now, you all remember my video I did on wrong way driving and what I would do in that situation, and how I recreated my own reenactment of that, and just basically recreated my own little production of how I would handle it if I was a police officer. And I have another type of well, not really like a recreation, but it's like a law idea. Because for those of you who know, for those of you who don't know, I also like to do creative writing, and I like to write laws based on what I would do and how it would be if it was up to me. I think a lot of you know of that, but those of you who don't know, that's what I like to do, and with ideas like this. So my idea for another type of law to deal with just the ridiculous nature of the way people drive and how fast they drive is it's just absolutely unbelievable. But I believe, and this is an idea of mine that I think should be the law, and this is what I would do if it was up to me. I would provide mandatory license revocation and mandatory vehicle forfeiture for a mandatory minimum length of not less than 1 year for any person who drives at or greater than 100 miles per hour in any location, no matter what the speed limit is, no matter if the speed limit's 70, 75, don't matter. Because at a certain point, when does speed become criminal? I think any speed in the triple digits should be automatic license loss, automatic vehicle loss, mandatory court day, and then depending on how fast you traveled, what the circumstances were, you should get hefty fines, and depending on how severe that it was, and if you endangered the safety and health and security of other people and property, I think jail time would not be illogical. Because if you choose to endanger yourself and the safety of others on the roadway, you should be heavily, heavily penalized. And I think that you should be revoked automatically on the spot. Boom, just like that. 1 year, and then go to court 7 days from the day that you were revoked and your vehicle was forfeited, and then it'll be up to the court to decide whether or not to extend that mandatory minimum length of revocation up to 10 years. So my law says, and I write these in my Google Docs. I write these in Word documents and things like that, because this is just me. This is a Zach the Celtics guy creation, legal creation, and writing and creative writing that I like to do. Those of you, I think, are very familiar with that. My law says this: the service, referring to a vehicle registration service, the vehicle registration service must revoke the driver's license and privilege to operate on any street or roadway of any person who has been convicted of exceeding the posted speed limit by 30 miles per hour or more, or traveling at or greater than 100 miles per hour in any location regardless of the speed limit. In which case, the driver's license and motor vehicle of him or her shall automatically be seized and confiscated, for which his or her driver's license and privileges to drive have been revoked at the roadside for 1 year, and his or her motor vehicle has also been forfeited at the roadside for 1 year, unless a more severe mandatory minimum length is provided for and fixed in time elsewhere. Whether includes using a motor vehicle in connection with another crime, fleeing or eluding from law enforcement with intent to escape apprehension or avoid detention, street racing or stunt driving, other lengths of discretionary or mandatory license revocation provided for under other specific circumstances, DUI or DWI, including refusal to submit to alcohol level, chemical, or breath tests, or field sobriety, etc., permanent license revocation of license for the most extreme circumstances, or driving while revoked or suspended. and shall take effect immediately on behalf of the peace officer that therefore is present at the roadside on scene such offense, who therefore facilitates such order prior to such court date. So that's what I believe in. I think that fleeing the police should get at least a 2-year revocation, and at least 2.5 years if you race other vehicles or you perform like stunt driving offenses like doing donuts or burning out or just tires or things like that. And so basically, unless a longer period of revocation is provided for and exists elsewhere under another law of mine that I would provide, that would provide like a more lengthy, more like longer period of revocation for another more serious offense like street racing, stunt driving, DUI, DWI, driving while revoked or suspended while driving over 100 miles an hour, I think that a person who drives that speed should be revoked for 1 year, and their vehicle should be forfeited for 1 year, meaning they should take the vehicle away. Prevent them from going out, because just suspending or revoking someone is not going to prevent them from going out and driving while revoked or suspended. You need to take away the mechanism that they use to do this type of reckless behavior or engage in this type of reckless conduct in the first place. So with that, you need to take the vehicle away and forfeit it to the jurisdiction of wherever, like my country's called the Pogo Islands, with this island I'm talking about, this is the Navy Island. Forfeit it to the island for 1 year. 1 year. At least. It should at least be 1 year. Unless, and I would obviously make exceptions if there was like a dire family emergency, or you were rushing yourself, you were rushing like your child or your best friend to the hospital or something. Yeah, in those circumstances, yes, I would also do the same. I probably would do the same thing. But if you're just driving over 100 miles an hour on the highway and there's no reason for it, then you are an idiot. You are a reckless idiot. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, not sorry. And I think you should be revoked, at least for a year. At least a year. Minimum 1 year. And if you make an argument of a longer period of revocation, like I would provide elsewhere, then yeah, no, I would not be opposed to it. And depending if you go faster and faster and faster, then I think it should be extended up to 10 years. Sorry if I sound like a brute when it comes to stuff like this. Sorry, not sorry, because I don't think it's illogical. I really don't. So, unless you have like a dire family emergency or a dire emergency rushing your best friend to the hospital or something like that, there is no reason under any circumstances that any person needs to be driving 100 miles an hour or more anywhere, anytime. I don't care. It's not safe. It's dangerous. It is reckless. It is irresponsible. I don't care what time of the day it is or what time of the night. If you do this, you deserve to have your privileges of driving revoked, and your vehicle needs to be forfeited and taken away from you directly on the spot. The minute they stop you, if I was on Officer's Act, I would. And if this was the law, and if it was up to me to do this, and I would do this, and this is how I would do it if it was up to me. I would stop them and ask them, what's the reason? Well, obviously, I wouldn't just be going up there saying, hi, how are you? No. Oh, no. What I would be doing is, I'd be going over there. Well, actually, I guess I am going to be doing a recreation here. I would go up to the car and I'd be like, shut the car off, take the keys out of the ignition and give them to me to prevent them from taking off. And putting even more lives in danger. I'd say take the keys out of the ignition. Step out. Your vehicle's being revoked. Your vehicle's being revoked. Your vehicle's being forfeited. Your license is being revoked. Step out of the vehicle right now. What's the reason you're driving 100 miles an hour or more, or depending on how fast you're going? I'd specifically say that. I'd say, what's the reason for it? And if you do not have a valid reason or excuse to do it, then I'd say, do you have your license? And they say yes, and they give it to me. I'd say, thank you. Now, your license is being revoked effect immediately at the roadside right here, right now for 1 year.
Here's your administrative license suspension order, ... and here's your summons to appear in court. And then the tow truck will be coming, and then they're going to take that vehicle and forfeit it for 1 year. And then pay whatever towing and storage fees that you owe. Pay it to the court up front on your court date, or whenever you get that vehicle back after the 1 year mandatory minimum period of revocation. And I'd say $5.99 a month for 12 months. Or I'd even say go higher. I don't care. You deserve everything coming your way. If you drive at extreme speed, because that's what this is extreme speed, this is reckless, this is dangerous, and this is irresponsible, I don't give a fuck. And I think anybody with half a brain in their head would agree with this. And I know people think differently. I know that there are people that think differently about this. They'd say, oh, but what about due process or whatever? Or, oh, what about certain things like that? People would be saying those things. Okay, I understand that. But where should the line be drawn? I think the line should be drawn at 100 miles an hour. There's no excuse to be driving that fast. Unless you got an emergency, there's no reason that you have to do this. Or, this is what I would say in the minimum circumstances. If you basically, if you drove that fast on the highway, during the day, or at this time of day, 3:30 or whatever, if you drove that fast, in the middle of the day with other cars around, like what I just described, that I'd say, okay, here's your license suspension order, your revocation order, and your forfeiture order. The vehicle's getting towed and forfeited for 1 year. Your license is revoked for a year. Call someone to pick you up, and that's going to be the end of it. Or you can go in that tow truck, whatever, do whatever. I don't care. But you are taken off the road immediately. Your privileges are revoked for a year. Your vehicle's forfeited for a year. That's what I do in the most minimum circumstances. Say if you were doing it in the middle of the night when there was not that many cars around. Still unacceptable anytime. If you do it in the middle of the day with other cars around, then I think you're an existential threat, and I wouldn't even give you the time of day for that order. I would just arrest you, put the handcuffs on you, and take you to jail, and then I would just follow with the same thing: the license revocation, vehicle forfeiture, 1 year. Yeah. Drive over 100 miles an hour with heavy traffic around, you're an existential threat to public safety, and I just get out of the car, arrest you, and take you to jail. And then I would confiscate your license and forfeit your vehicle for a year, put you in jail. Simple as that. Isn't reckless driving a crime? Isn't driving to endanger a crime? Or as what they call in Canada, the UK, and Australia, to any of my Anglo-Saxon fans or fans from Canada that are listening, isn't dangerous driving a crime? I would think so. So by definition, you should be arrested, because this is a crime. This is a crime that destroys lives. This is a crime where if you get into an accident at over 100 miles an hour, you won't make it. You will not make it. You do not survive. The chances of surviving a 100 plus mile an hour car crash is close to zero. It's close to zero. You will not survive, and the people that you crash into will not survive. The lives that are put at risk by these speeds at any given point, it's through the roof. Because the faster you drive, the less reaction time you have to stop a vehicle safely. That's number one, especially when there's other cars around. That's number two. Number three, the faster you go, there's more of an impact when you get into an accident, which will push you over, possibly pushing you through the windshield. Need I go on? The faster you drive, the more likely you are to get into an accident. And the faster you go, the more chances that you're going to suffer serious and grievous bodily harm or death. Is it really worth it? No, I don't think it is. But whatever, what is there to say? Some people think differently. But this is what I think, and this is how I would do it. That if you endanger the lives of innocent people by driving over 100 miles an hour, then fuck you, I'm going to forfeit your vehicle and confiscate your license and revoke you for a year. 1 year minimum. I don't care how brutal that sounds or whatever. Like, I don't care. Like I said, this is the type of nonsense you hear from the fucking bleeding heart people that act like, oh my God, no, we shouldn't be brutal. We should be better than them. Really, we should be better than these fucking criminals, because that's what extreme speeders are. They're criminals. They're reckless drivers. They're people that endanger and destroy people's lives. So there you have it. I think people who do this deserve everything coming to them. 1 year revocation, 1 year vehicle forfeiture, and hefty fines. Obviously hefty fines, at least $1,000 minimum. Minimum $1,000 in fines. And if the danger was particularly severe, then put him in jail. Put him in jail for like maybe a month, 30 days. And tack on an extra day for every mile over 100. So that's what I think, and that's what Officer Zach would do in this situation. That's what I would do, because I have no tolerance for people who endanger other people's lives. I have no fucking tolerance for it. I have no tolerance for people who endanger other people's lives. This is why I always worry about my family and my friends on the road all the time. I do. Because you take a risk every time. Because there are actual dangers out there. There are. We can't stop all of them, but we need to make awareness of this type of thing. And that's what I believe in, and that's what I'm doing here. And this is my proposal, Zach the Celtics guy's proposal on a legal basis as to what I would do. And this is what I have done in my spare time and with my creative writing techniques that I have done. Okay? No patty cakes, no fucking playing the victim, no, none of this, they just committed a simple mistake. Bullshit. Like, that's not, because I don't think that's true, and that's not what I believe in. If you endanger innocent people's lives, there should be a heavy price to pay. And if you drive 100 miles an hour or more, you're endangering people's lives, and as a result of that, you should pay a hefty price, including having your license taken away for a year and having your motor vehicle taken away for a year. And the actual length of the revocation should be dependent on the judge passing the sentence. And no limited driving privileges or early compassionate release either. Because if your vehicle's forfeited, that means it's repossessed. And you have to pay all sorts of money to get it back. Sounds good to me. And when your license is revoked, it's different than a suspension, because a suspension is just a temporary ban on you driving. A revocation is long-term, indeterminate, or permanent. I think you should be revoked. A year, minimum. That's just me. So, if you endanger people's lives, if you do this, fuck you. I don't care. You're a scumbag, and you should go to jail. You should go to jail, or at the very minimum, have all these things happen to you, plus times infinity, and $1,000 fine minimum. That's me. This is what I propose, and this is what I would want to pass, and this is what I would pass if it was up to me. And if I was an officer and I had the authority to enforce this law, I would fucking do it. I would do it. So, with me, if you do that, yeah, you better watch out. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here, but this concludes Zach's legal lessons and a recreation of mine on dangerous driving and extreme speeders. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll be back with more videos at some point soon. Stay tuned for more content on the way, coming your way soon. This is Zach the Celtics guy saying thank you for watching. Stay safe out there. Drive safe. Be well. Be careful. See you all again in the next video. See you all again next time. More stuff on the way, coming your way soon. Stay tuned for more. Bye for now. Peace out. Take care. Drive safe. And have a good day.